morning, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good day. It's Monday, 9 o'clock. I made it. Day one. Let's see if we make it. See if I make it the rest of the week at this time. 9 o'clock. So, all right. Convincing Mr. Hyde. Not everybody may know what that's about. So when we were growing up, there was a story, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know that it's really told anymore. But essentially, Mr. Hyde is your alternate personality. This is the person that tends to come out when you're drinking. We alcoholics, we don't necessarily have multiple personalities, but we have different hats that we wear depending on what angle we're using to currently get our alcohol. Right? So what we're doing is we're being something that we're not to get something that we want, which is alcohol, right? And I'd like to go ahead and get right into it because this will be the first time I get to utilize a new book. So I'm happy about that. All right, let's get started. Convincing Mr. Hyde. Even then, and it's going to be Bill W. that's writing all of this, so that people know. My phone now tells me when I'm live on Facebook. I don't know when that started, but it did. So you guys should do that too. I'm supposed to be doing that. Check this, check that. Anyway, we'll get to all that stuff. Even though as we hew away, peace and joy may still elude us. That's the place so many of us AA oldsters have come to. And it's a hell of a spot, literally. How shall our unconscious, from which so many of our fears, compulsions, and phony aspirations still stream, be brought into line what we actually believe now and want? How do we convince our dumb, raging, and hidden Mr. Hyde becomes our main task? So, some people say it differently. You know, I have to tell the new brain cells here that we don't party, reminding yourself that, you know, we are on a different plane now. Okay, until that becomes a habit in and of itself. See, recovery can become a habit also. It can be a good habit. So, but we get to read out of Language of the Heart today. And Jill gave this to me. Oh, my comments aren't up. Good morning, Facebook user. Let's see who it is. Let's see who it is. William, good to see you, man. See, 9 o'clock. Told you. We'll try it again tomorrow, though. I got to change my headphones. Wow. There we go. It goes back and forth. Sounds all wishy-washy. So Jill bought this morning for Christmas, and I've been waiting to use it. I've been reading it off and on myself. But then the part I'm going to read is The Next Frontier, Emotional Sobriety. I really like this part. It's what we read in my Thursday home group meetings. I think many ulcers who have put the AA Pew's cure to severe but successful tests still find that they often lack emotional sobriety. Perhaps they will be the spearhead for the next major development in AA, the development of much more real maturity and balance, which is to say, humility in our relationships with ourselves, with our fellows, and with God. Emotional sobriety, what they're talking about here, is going beyond, not necessarily going beyond the 12 steps, but taking a look at how you present yourself emotionally. Okay. The other part of this is this, and this is what we found out. Okay. Alcohol is a depressant, right? You drink it for long enough, guess what you get? Depressed. Okay. So we might be dealing with depression. You guys have listened to my podcast. Listen to some of these stories, man. Listen to some of the danger we put ourselves in. you know, that creates trauma in our lives, putting ourselves in situations which could have killed us, man. Yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Pie-Eyed. Not everybody gonna get that one. These adolescent urges that so many of us have for top approval, perfect security, and perfect romance, urges quite appropriate to age 17, proven to be impossible way of life when we are at the age 40, 47 or 57. So they're talking about emotional maturity, about how much harder it is to obtain it once you become older. So here's the thing: when we start drinking, our emotional, especially if we start drinking at a young age, okay, literally we are stunting our growth, our emotional growth, right? That means we haven't grown it up yet, right? That's why when we couldn't get our alcohol or whatever, we threw ourselves on the floor and acted like a 2-year-old child flopping around, right? So I'm going to skip forward in this. Okay. I kept asking myself, why can't the 12 steps work to release depression? By the hour, I stared at the St. Francis prayer. It's better to comfort than to be comforted. Here was a formula, all right, but why didn't it work? Okay, so he is dealing with depression. Yeah. Okay, and this wasn't the only thing he tried. He tried shrooms. I believe he tried acid, but he tried a couple of different things to work on his depression. None of them worked. Okay. And no, he didn't reset his date. Suddenly I realized what the matter was. My basic flaw had always been dependence. There it is. Almost absolute dependence on people or circumstances to supply me with prestige, security, and the like. Failing these things according to my perfectionist dreams and specifications, I had fought for them, and when defeat came, so did my depression. So what we do as human beings is we start to rely on other people to supply us with the feelings we feel that we should have. And it's not going to work. Those people are going to fail you. Why? Because number one, you're putting an expectation on them that they don't even know, right? Which is unreasonable. And then when they don't follow through with that, then your anger is going to pop up, right? Why would you set somebody up to fail like that unless you were wanting to get something out of it, right? Okay, so we can't rely upon those things. We have to get them from God and from ourselves, okay? That doesn't mean we don't rely on other people to help us, okay? But when it comes to our emotions, we have to own them, okay? And I know this. I'm diagnosed with depression, acute anxiety, and PTSD. All right, I got a trifecta over here. All right, and I deal with these things on a daily basis. I deal with my PTSD every morning when I wake up, and the first thing that I do is I jump on the God wagon, man. That's the first thing I do. Why? Because that's where my foundation is. And see, I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know that. The LSD was under doctor's care in the 50s. See, I knew there was something else to it besides what I knew. But you know what? He tried for us, man. And it was under doctor's care. So good for him. He did it the right way. It'd be like a prescription now, except it's not LSD. Right. There wasn't a chance of making the outgoing love of St. Francis a workable and joyous way of life until these fatal almost absolute dependencies were cut away. Because I had over the years undergone a little spiritual development, the absolute quality of these frightful dependencies had never been so starkly revealed. Reinforced by what grace I could secure in prayer, I found I had to exert every ounce of will and action to cut off these faulty emotional dependencies upon people, upon AA, indeed, upon any set of circumstances whatsoever. Then only could I be free of love as St. Francis had. Only then could I be free to love as Francis had. Emotional and instinctual satisfactions I saw were really the extra dividends of having love, offering love, and expressing a love appropriate to each relation of life. And I really like that. So what he's actually talking about here are the 5 languages of love. Okay. And now that he was free of his depression, now that he's free of his PTSD or whatever else is going on, and I understand this, I really do. Because with somebody with PTSD to feel normal, for me to feel normal is fan-freaking-tastic, man, because I'm not used to it. Okay? So when we get to a certain point, the more we bring in, the more we get to give away. Right? So the more love I find, the more understanding I find, the more of that I find, I can give more of it away. On the other side, I can't transmit something I don't have. That means I must do the work. Because the whole joy of this is being able to pass it on and watch somebody else get better because you decide to open your mouth and do the right thing. There's nothing like it. Regular attendance at meetings, serving and helping others is the recipe that many have tried and have found to be successful. Okay, so I would recommend that people with other let's call them extenuating circumstance, right? Depression, things like that. Double down on your service work, man. It does work. Okay, it really does. Nothing gets me out of myself quicker than helping somebody else, especially if I'm depressed. Now, if you're dealing with trauma, things like that, that's not something that you ignore. Okay, reach out to me. Let's find you a good therapist. I know some great therapists when it comes to PTSD. And I know because I saw them and I'm sitting here. So I know that it works. You don't have to live that life, guys. That's a hell life. That reactionary. And I know they say that emotions can't kill you, but anger, it says it everywhere. Anger can kill you. Okay, it can give you a stroke, a heart attack. I know this. I had a heart attack at 42 because of my anger. You're not an angry guy, Dion. Yeah, I'm also not having a heart attack anymore. Oh. Whenever I stray from these basic principles, my old habits resurface. Yes. 1, 2, and 3. Always, man. I do steps 1, 2, and 3 whenever I wake up. I do steps 1, 2, and 3 every morning. Restate that. My old habits resurface and my old self comes back with all its fears and defects and anger. Trust me, it comes back. The ultimate goal of each AA member is permanent sobriety, achieved one day at a time, right? That's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to die sober. That's kind of our thing. What we do in between is what really matters, though. And I talked about this yesterday a little bit too, that just because you're one person, you can make a difference. All right. And if God has put you in a situation to help somebody out, don't ask why, just do it. All right. It can be a little scary. It can be a little overwhelming. I know, because you're dealing with somebody else's life. I get that. So ask for the right words. Share your own experience. Can't go wrong there, right? Okay. Never give advice. Always give suggestions. All right. Unless they're looking for advice, then be careful with it. All right. All right, guys. That's going to be it for today. I have a lot of stuff I got to catch up on today. The podcasts are going to be coming back. I've got a great interview tomorrow. We've got probably 3 podcasts coming out this week. And you're going to see you're going to be seeing a lot of improvements too. Just kind of showing you guys, hey, we're sticking around. We're not going anywhere. I've been doing this for over 2 years now. I don't think I'm going anywhere. Now, if I can do it at 9 o'clock, then see if we can get that consistency portion down. So thanks for being here with me, guys, hanging out. William, it was good to see you again today. Take care of yourself out there in Cali. In the meantime, guys, have a great day. Have a great day. All right. I love you all. Peace out and have a day.